3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Tea with Crema. For those of you that are binge listening to our episodes, hello, it's good to see you again. For those of you that were following us in real time, hello, it's been a minute. Welcome back. Oh my gosh, it's been almost 2 months, like a good 2 months. Here we are. It's almost three, really. It's almost October. Early October.
October, yep.
We haven't, Tea with Crema hasn't dropped an episode since, like late July, like the last day of July. So yeah, welcome back. We just wanted to take some time today to update you on why we were missing for 2 months. Just gone off the grid for 2 months. But before we get started, Emma, did you bring your tea today?
I did not bring a tea, in typical fashion. And just because I like to keep you on your toes, Jeffrey, this one's for you. I brought a coffee this time, okay? So it was recommended to me by my mom, who also, she's never been to Japan, so I don't know why she's recommending this. But her coworker said that I should try the Georgia coffee. And I'm going to open it up in real time. Maybe you guys can hear me opening it. Nope, never mind. That was fail. No ASMR today. So I'm going to try it. Tastes like coffee. It tastes like coffee that's cold and has cream in it. It's actually not bad, but apparently it's made by Coca-Cola. So
Why is it called Georgia?
I have no idea. It's called Georgia Japan Craftsman. So
that's confusing. Is there a state in Japan called Georgia too?
No, they just really have this weird fascination with America. But yeah, so what are you drinking today, Kris? Do you have tea?
Of course I have a tea because,
one of us stays on theme and one of us doesn't.
It's on theme. I still keep us guessing because today's tea is called the Piquant Peach by Tea Goblin. And this is another tea from the Sips Buy box, courtesy of
sweet.
What the Trio.
Are you still on that first box?
No, this is the third one. This is the August box.
Nice.
So I don't review all of them on the podcast, but I've tried them. And some of them are good, and some of them are very average, normal teas. So this one, I think my mom would really like this one. She likes peach things, peach teas.
Ooh.
And so this one's like a peach hibiscus. And it's supposed to be like a summery kind of, and I mean, it's very summer. I think this one, if I had enough of it, I could definitely make it a sweet tea. Like a good old summer sweet tea, iced tea.
Yeah.
So I like it. It's cute. It's real summer.
I love a good peach tea. And there's a peach season out here in Japan. It's like a very specific season. So like the drinks and the food and stuff will be like geared towards the peach. And then once it's not, it'll like go away.
Is it like pumpkin season?
Kinda, yeah. So now right now it's like pumpkin season, turning into pumpkin season here too. Good to know that pumpkin season
pumpkin spice lattes and pumpkin spice bread and pumpkin spice cookies and
yeah, but pumpkin is like a year-round thing here though. Like kabocha is easy to find. But like the flavor itself, again, I think they're modeling after the US, and because there's so many foreigners here, they're catering to them. So yeah.
Well, it's pumpkin season.
Pumpkin season. So yeah, let's get. So yeah, let's get into this. Let's spill the tea on our hiatus.
Well, what happened, Emma? Why'd you make us stop recording episodes?
What had happened was I didn't do anything. I just moved across the world. That's all that happened.
Moved across the Pacific Ocean.
The Pacific Ocean is where I am now. So this is going to be a part of our new series where we are going to be releasing unedited versus edited episodes. You'll kind of see. And our check-ins are going to be our unedited ones. So you get to see us live and in person and see our silliness that we don't edit out. Because normally when we do edit, we have to edit out our giggles. So just a brief check-in. I'm currently still in Japan. I stayed. I'm not coming home, much to everyone's disbelief. I'm still here. Teaching has just started, so I am currently living in my apartment. I still have boxes everywhere because it's being unpacked and being built. So you are currently not on a desk, you are on 2 boxes. One of which is a big open box, so yeah, that's what's been going on right now. Just trying to get used to my commute. It's now a 45-minute commute versus those 15 minutes I used to do by car. So that's been getting some used to. And yeah, what's going on with you, Kris?
It's 45 minutes not by car now.
Oh, yes, it is 45 minutes from, they call it door to door. So from my door to the school door, there's about 15 minutes of walking in there. So 30 minutes on the train, 15 minutes walking, all that good stuff.
Do you know how much time it would take if you had a car?
If I had a car, I believe it would still be like a 30-minute commute. Yeah, it's because it's like the traffic is really bad. So, I mean, I'll get into it a little bit too.
Public transit for the win.
Yeah, public transit for the win, for real. Because it's one of those things where I'm like, ugh, I wish I had a car. But then I like look and it's maybe 7 miles away, but still a 30-minute drive because there's so much traffic here. So it's like 7 miles away, and it would take me 45 to 55 minutes on the train, but I don't have to fight the traffic. I'm literally just fighting to get a seat.
Are these above ground trains or below ground trains?
Both. So they go above and below.
So your trains be like waving?
No, you know what? I don't understand how it works really, because that's what I would think too. But there are like specific ones that are just like strictly underground. So there's some that are like strictly underground, and then there's some that are like underground and then it opens up. And then there's some that are just like above ground the whole time. So
on your way to work, are you above ground?
I am for a little bit, and then I go in the tunnel for a little bit too.
What an interesting experience.
Yeah, I think I need to pay more attention, and then I would be able to answer that question better.
I'm gonna be out here just getting lost.
Facts. I'll be texting Kris, and I'm like, oh my God, I just got lost again. I got up on the wrong station again.
Side note, if y'all know any tricks to help this girl with left and right, that's 95% of the reason she lost. Just lefts and rights.
And it's not even like Google Maps like doesn't show you which way the arrow is pointing either. I think that's the problem. Like Google Maps clearly says the arrow is going to the right, and I'm like, yeah, I think it's going this way. Like goes in the complete opposite direction. I have gotten a lot better. Not really. I mean, whenever it says like it's going to take you 45 minutes, I just assume it's going to take me an hour. Just because, you know, I like to give a little bit of leeway for getting lost time.
Mm-hmm. And it's important, especially like being new to a place. You need that getting lost time.
Yeah, exactly. So I can't wait till I'm like an expert and I know, like I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go meet my friends here, and then I can like just like get on the train and like know like, oh, I gotta get off here and transfer here and do all those things.
Emma just committed to like 10 years in Japan because she still gets lost in Fort Worth.
And I was there for 5 years.
She's like, oh, I can't wait until I'm an expert. Great, so you're gonna live in Japan forever now. This is your life.
Looks like you're stuck there. No, and then it was so funny because one of my friends, so they can drive here because they're from New Zealand, and so it's like a easy transfer type thing where they trust them to like rent a car because they're on the same side of the road. And so she was like, oh, like let's go visit our other friend that's like an hour away, and she's like, I'll drive. Our other friend Rosa will be in charge of music. She was like, Emma, can you navigate? I was like, things I can't do, and I won't even try to volunteer because we will get lost. I was like, I'm the worst navigator. I was like, I'm a really good napper because I also get really car sick. So I'm like the worst person to take on road trips. Like I like the idea of them, but they just also make me really sick.
I was really out here thinking a few days ago, I was like, ooh, I'm gonna like take a road trip to somewhere. And then also realized I get nauseous if I'm not driving, so...
I was like, but you're also like, you're a really good driver though. I don't know if you like to drive.
I don't mind it, but also like road trip driving versus just like driving are two different kinds of things.
That's true. It's two different staminas.
Yeah, because those like road trips are literally hours.
Hours. Okay, so that was on me. I'm living my best life in Japan. There's some things that I'm still getting used to, like when to take out the trash, but that's a whole different episode. How are you doing? What are you up to?
I don't remember if I don't think we actually like named what was happening in our June check-in, like
No,
our
you just
mid-year
said you.
check-in.
No,
We're
you
just like
literally just said that you're leaving the classroom.
things are coming soon, and then we just left it eerie, like it was odd.
No, we said that we were leaving. Like I said I was moving to Japan, you said you were leaving the classroom. I don't think you ever went into explicitly. You said you were like working with data, but like I was listening back to it and I was like, what exactly is he doing? Cuz I don't even know half the time.
Well, yes, I did still leave the classroom. I'm gone. I'm out. We're not
Outsies.
going. It's not happening back.
You can't
But
put me back there.
you can't do it. It's fine. I've seen the other side. And as enjoyable as it was for the 4 years, I'm good. So now, my official role is campus.
Oh. What's going
Well, we're
on?
not editing this one, so it's just gonna be
Oh.
like that.
Awkward. I was literally like, because it sounded like you were being like dramatic on purpose. I thought you were waiting for my drum roll.
No, I'm just dramatic.
Okay,
Naturally.
go ahead. Go
So
ahead,
my
then.
official title is Campus Data Analyst, which means I'm really in charge of coordinating assessments and helping teachers to gather student data and then coaching them on and working with them on what to do with the data.
Oh.
And it's because if you've been in the classroom, you know oh boy, there's a lot of data all the time to look at. Like there's a plethora. You can look at anything. But really figuring out how to be efficient at retrieving data, and then also knowing what data is not a waste of your time. So that is my main job. And a lot of it is like, again, the assessment coordinating part. Let me tell you about a job that requires a lot of paperwork. It's that one. Whew. And then while doing that, I'm also the LPAC chairperson.
Can you go into a little bit about what LPAC stands for?
I'm still remembering language proficiency.
Academic coordinator?
Something committee. Because so LPAC is more than me. I'm the chairperson, but it's language proficiency and assessment committee, I believe. And the focus and purpose of LPAC is to monitor the progress of emergent bilingual students on your campus. And so essentially, like we have people that are in charge of special education students, we have people that are in charge of students on different plans. And so I also am now the person who kind of is in charge of our bilingual students and like monitoring what they're doing and making sure they're doing okay and seeing if they need any additional supports. And then, in addition to that, I'm also the campus technology coordinator. So
how many people's jobs are you doing, basically?
three people's, at least three
Are you
people's
getting,
jobs.
I don't know if you're allowed or if you're at liberty to say or answer, are you getting paid for these three people's jobs?
I work in education, so I'm gonna leave it at that.
I'm gonna let y'all make your own conclusions and draw your own conclusions from it. But okay, so compared to how you were in the classroom versus now, like, was this the right decision? As he sips his tea.
It's only September. Who knows? I've only been doing this job for like 2 months, and so it's hard to know for sure. We'll kind of see. I think I'm a little hyperbolic, and so sometimes I feel like I just run around and I'm like, I'm drowning and nothing's ending up right and it's terrible. But I think I was similar in my first year of teaching, so...
Which is wild because as much as you're like, yeah, you are, I feel like you do have a tendency to be hyperbolic in that sense. But in reality, it's like, you're like, I'm drowning. But in reality, it's like, you're doing the thing. Like you're doing what normal people do, you know? I think that's hard because you are such a perfectionist that it's like, if it's not perfection, then it's drowning.
Probably.
So, you know.
And it's just, the first time I'm doing this job, and sometimes it's hard to, when you're doing something for the first time, it's hard to be prepared for everything. And that's what I'm struggling with the most. Because I do like to be prepared and to be organized. And it's hard to, like, plan things when I don't know what to plan for.
Yeah.
And I can't...
You don't know what you don't know until you don't know it.
Till it's very clear you don't know it. And I can't, like, preemptively... I could, like, preemptively ask all the questions. But part of it is you kind of have to learn as you go, because if you try to... I've been to trainings where they try to front load all of the information, and it's too much, and then you can't retain it all, and then you still end up asking questions about it anyway, so...
And that's one of those things, too, where it's like, I always run into that issue, like, even in teaching in the classroom, right? Like, do I front load all the information, or is it something where I, like, need to just, like, teach it, but then you see, like, you have those two sets of people who are, like, they can fully understand it when it's front loaded, but then you have those other sets of people who, like, you'll start teaching, and then they'll ask the billions of questions, and it's like, if you just stick with me for like 20 more minutes, I promise I would answer that. But also, like, they don't know that. They don't know that I was going to answer that. So, and that's one of those things where it's like, please hold all questions till the end of the presentation, but you always got that one Karen who needs to ask her question then and there because it's God's gift to the world. And everyone's like, Helen, I'm name dropping here because I'm not in Texas no more and I ain't afraid of her. If you could just wait, Helen, it'll be answered in 2 seconds.
Well, it'd be like that. And you're right. It just, I would imagine that's not even just an education thing. I think it's just always, anytime people are learning new things, do you front load it and then they go back and ask you all the questions anyway? And I think the thing I really don't like about front loading the information is when people are really rude about it later. And so then they front load all the information, and then, it's just a lot. And so you go and ask questions, and then you get like, pair my email, pair the presentation, go back and look at the notes. And I mean, I get it. Answering this question 100 times is probably not your favorite thing either, But
also, if you're getting asked the question a lot of times, like, shouldn't that be an indicator to you to, like, I'm going to either put like a frequently asked questions at the end of this presentation, or I'm going to send out a whole school-wide email. And again, it's one of those things where you like balance professionalism and so many games to play, and like it gets confusing at times. So
just walk around and smile.
But how is everything going in your personal life? Like, you're also in a new place, too. How
I moved
you
to north of Fort Worth. It's not technically, my address isn't actually Fort Worth anymore, but, like, it's Fort Worth. So the drive is a little longer, which I still have mixed feelings about.
Really?
I haven't. It's not as universally terrible as I thought it was going to be.
Can you give some background on where you were before, door to door?
I was 8 minutes away before.
And how far are you now?
And that's the thing. So I don't know. If I were to like try to drive to work right now, I'd probably be like 15 minutes away. But it's never actually 15 minutes away because the highway that I drive is under construction right now. And so there's always like weird traffic, but I've had to learn how to drive I don't actually have to. I could just take the highway and it's usually about comparable times, but I also enjoy driving alternative routes just because A, I get to see parts of the city I've never seen before, and B, it's just different, keeps you on your toes.
Yeah.
Little variety, ooh, where am I going today? Am I going to get lost?
Am I going to die today? I don't know.
Dun, da, da, da. So yeah, but I have moved, and it took me a little bit longer than 1 weekend, maybe 2 weekends, but everything is unpacked,
Nice.
It took 3 weeks to move, and then 2 weekends to unpack.
Yeah.
So I would say, I mean, last weekend I was pretty chill. Most of everything was everywhere it needed to be. But this weekend, I'm like, well, the only thing that's left is hanging up pictures.
Yeah.
I think it's because my walls aren't sticky.
Yeah.
I
So
tried to
if
use
you have
3M.
any suggestions for how to get Chris's stuff to hang up and stick, he seems to be having issues. The last time he hung something up, it all like fell down simultaneously. So we not happy with those walls right now. But if you have any tips and tricks, let us know.
Yep. So I think that's good for a little check-in. I will
little
say
check-in.
a little cute little check-in, and I will say again, you mentioned it at the beginning, but just to clarify, I know like my schedule is just way more hectic now, and we almost recorded an episode. What was it, like last weekend, 2 weekends ago? And then I was just like, no, I can't do it. It's too much.
I can't do this anymore. In his pure hyperbolic fashion, was like, no, I am not doing this. It's not serving me anymore.
Yeah, it was a lot, and it was really just because I didn't want to edit the episodes, so it was fine. But then I talked to Kate. You know, she'd been podcasting for a little minute, and she was like, "At With the Trio, Part 2." And she was just like, you know, that's fair. It'd be like that. But have you considered? You know, people don't ever just let me like move away and do stuff. They're just like, but what about? And so now our show format will be a little different. We'll have unedited monthly episodes and then more structured episodes with very specific topics. And we'll try not to be too ranty on our check-ins and maybe like a guiding question or two. But it just kind of helped me. I don't know as much about like Emma's personal schedule. I haven't even had time to ask. But yeah, I just couldn't handle trying to pull out or trying to push out a whole edited episode, even like once a month. It's a lot. You gotta like sit in front of the computer, and then
It takes a whole week.
And my job is already like a lot of computer and be like tedious bits of information, and so then coming home and like doing that more.
Yeah, and it does take us like a good week for us to edit, only because we're not people who just like sit in front. I mean, low-key, I sometimes be doing like putting in 6 hours in one day instead of putting it out throughout the week. So again, it's just like personal preference, but it does take a long time, which we are going to go into like behind the scenes of I just almost called us of what the trio.
Shout out with the trio, thanks.
As you can tell, I would like to be part of the What the Trio. If they could change it to What the Quartet, that'd be great.
What the quintet, you know?
What the Quintet with Kris. So yeah, we are going to have an episode on the behind the scenes and the work that goes into this. So yeah, we're not going to get into that too much. But as we always do, regardless of whether or not this is edited or unedited, we are going to do a rapid fire question. Bum, 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 bum.
I've been writing questions down, at least.
Oh my gosh. Okay, then you go first.
Because I still have questions, you know? I still have them. They still come up.
You know?
Okay, so the question we're going to go with today, who's one person you would never want to face in a fight? Like, no matter what, you're just like, nah, I'm not going to do it.
Oh, no. Oh. I
have my answer.
Do you? Is it a person you know, or is it a celebrity?
It's Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Oh my gosh.
Like, he's just like...
I know, I would rather he hug me.
You know?
Just like,
as opposed to like, could you imagine one punch? Like, even just like to the facial area.
Like, you would no longer have a face. Like, you would need major reconstruction.
Massive. And I'd be a whole different person after that.
You know what those arms could do instead? They could wrap me up and just you
feel real safe, okay?
You know, okay. One person I wouldn't, which is so funny because I was thinking of like females I wouldn't want to get into a fight with. I'm trying to think of like who could beat the F out of me. You know who's the first person that came to my head was Ronda Rousey.
That's what I was gonna think for you, because you were like ladies, and I was like Ronda, definitely
Ronda. Duh. I mean, I don't know enough about her, but I feel like, you know, like I would just see her and I'd be like, nah, I'm out. Like, we're equal.
She a professional.
You know, like I'm big, but that doesn't mean I'm fast or strong.
Just a large target, okay?
So, you know, exactly. Just more body for her to beat up.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
my question is if. Oh, I just like lost my question. Okay. I was thinking of the question that I was gonna ask. I've been asking open-ended questions for my kids for their warm-up questions. So their first question, the first question was, "You are what you eat. Is this true or not?" And then I was like, for clarification, can you tell someone is a meat eater or a vegan based on what they look like?
No. I'm
Do
gonna
you
go with
believe
no.
that you are what you eat?
Yes. But I don't think it's like a visual aesthetic thing, you know? And I got like little green leaf sprouts coming out of my hairs.
I was definitely a French fry in my head, so it's okay.
Bow, 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 bow. Yeah, but I think, and not necessarily like a physical, like, you're a French fry or you're a pizza, but, you know, it impacts your mood and how you feel and your energy levels. So, yeah, I think so. You definitely are what you eat.
Yeah, I agree. My kids got into a very interesting. They're in seventh grade. They got into a very interesting conversation about like, well, I can tell someone is a vegan if they're skinny, and then someone else said, no, I know some vegans who are fat. I was like, kids are so freaking ruthless. Like,
Valid.
if you ever want to know the truth about yourself, ask a seventh grader.
Yeah, because that's the grade. I'm telling you, that was the one grade I was like, I can't teach seventh graders. Like,
They low key rude. Like half the time, I'm like, are y'all roasting me or are you guys laughing with me?
and it's kind of, it feels like it's kind of at like our expense. Like
Yeah,
we as a
exactly.
collective are kind of roasting each other.
Exactly.
It's a lot.
Exactly. So yeah, so that was our open-ended question for the day. But
Woohoo! Well, with that, Emma, where can people find the podcast that's coming off of hiatus now?
coming live to you in October, you can find us on Twitter or Instagram at what's our name again? You can find us on Twitter or Instagram at the tea with crema or
What a mess!
what the tea with crema. I just want to be on What the Trio so bad.
We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We have a Venmo. It hasn't gone away.
Please Venmo us. Yes, if you would like to support my Family Mart, which is like the convenience store habit, please Venmo us at the tea with crema. We are also still exploring a YouTube option, but we'll see. We'll see you guys next time. Bye. That was a mess.